Hey, hon. Come on, sit down. Yeah, sit down. I've been waiting. Yeah. It's fine, you know I've always got time for you. Yeah, it does help that it's one of my larger interests in life. Yeah. No, I swear it's no problem. I got all my stuff out already. Yeah, so I got out my powder and a pencil because I figured I could maybe show you both ways. Yeah, and then I also got some brow mousse to kind of set in place. So we'll talk about it when we get here. So I have these 3 products that I'm going to show you how to work with. But before we do that, I got out my little tools. I got my little scissors. I think these are actually like cuticle scissors, but I never use them for that. And then I got a spoolie and some tweezers to pluck. Yeah. So what I figured we could do, since you never touched your brows, right? I didn't think so. Yeah, so I figured I could shape them for you, and I can kind of talk you through that. But since you've never done it before and it's the first one, I do want to do that one for you. So I'll give you a few like pointers or tips and tricks, whatnot. But I'll do the shaping and trimming for you. And then I thought that I could walk you through filling them in. I'll show you how I do it and have you follow along. Yeah. I just feel like the trimming and plucking, like, that can go really awry. So I want to teach you first, but with the filling in, if you make them look crazy, you can just wash it off. And it's the part that you're gonna need to be able to do for yourself, obviously, way more often. I mean, realistically, you could go get your brows done, or I could do them for you. You may never pluck or trim your brows, but if you're wanting to kind of keep them looking nice and polished, you're gonna have to fill them in for yourself. I can't come over every day and do it for you. Sound good? Okay. Yeah, I didn't figure you'd have a problem with it, but I just figured I'd run you through it at least. Yeah, okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Just to start, we can just kind of, since you've never touched your brows, you're gonna have, this is gonna be fun for me because you have really good framework already and you haven't fucked with it. So that's always nice. I know when I was younger, I got into a horrible phase of plucking them away because they, back then I didn't even know about trimming them, so they were just so big and unruly, and it drove me crazy. So I would just tweeze them all away, and it looked horrible because, well, it's just not the natural shape, and I have like a huge head, and I just took away the frame and the structure of my face, and it was such a bad time. So I'm so glad that you've never done that, because luckily for me, I have thick eyebrows and they grew back, but I know a lot of people, they'll overpluck them and then they're never the same. I don't know why. I don't know if their hair follicle gets damaged or what the problem is, but they're just never the same again, and that really sucks. So just a general rule of thumb, and this is just, it just works out for most people, but it's not everybody. There's always an exception, but in general, you kind of want to keep this shape. Give you take something straight like a pencil, or this is an eyebrow pen, and put it beside your nose and then go straight up, that should be like where your brow starts. And then if you take it and you go through your pupil, that should be your arch. You can see mine it's a soft arch. It's not like some people's really get up there and looks amazing on them, but mine's just kind of rounded. But you can see there is some elevation right there. And then again, from the side of your nose out to the end of your eye is where it should end. And mine fall just a little short, but nothing crazy. I do sometimes kind of flick mine out a little further when I fill them in, but that's just personal preference. And I think it's best to stay with your natural shape. So what I'm gonna do first is brush your eyebrow hairs up like this. You can see mine, I trimmed mine a couple days ago, so they don't look too bad right now. But what you do is you brush them up like this, and then you take these cuticle scissors and trim all the hair that's like sticking up, and you can brush it back down and kind of see the shape you're getting. And yeah, it just helps expose your shape and makes them look more tidy and uniform, because hairs never grow like evenly, and so then you'll have really long ones and really short ones, and it just kind of looks chaotic. So let's do that first, okay? Yep, so I'm just gonna reach up and brush them up. And then I'm gonna take these and just trim for you, okay? We'll do it again. Yeah, you'll likely never get all the hairs you need on the first trim, so brush them up, trim, brush them back up, and trim again, because when you go through with the scissors, you kind of push some back down. So let's go ahead. Yeah, and now let's do the other side. So brush them up. And then, yeah, let's actually go from this side. Good. And then one more time. Yeah, I can kind of itch your face a little bit. I think that's good. You're lucky because yours don't grow like super long like mine do. Like, I have to do that like 3 or 4 times because it's just ridiculous. Yeah, okay. So now that that's done, we're gonna pluck. And you're a newbie, so it may hurt a little bit. Over time, you'll get to kind of desensitize to it, or you'll just get used to it. I don't know, but it doesn't hurt as bad after the first time, and just depending on your pain tolerance, and everybody feels pain differently in different areas, so it may not hurt that bad for you, or maybe in the middle doesn't, but then underneath the arch does. It's different for everybody, but it's not unbearable. You're a tough cookie, right? Alright. So, we're gonna pluck in the middle, and then I'll pluck the strays underneath. I don't tend to pluck on the top unless you just have like a random wild one, which can happen. Yeah. And you can see that I have some that aren't completely uniform. And granted, mine do need to be tweezed. But I don't like to pluck everything that's not directly in your shape, because I just think it can start looking kind of like artificial. And then if you tweeze them into a super unnatural line, then as soon as they start growing back in, it looks really bad. So like, if you look at me right now, you can't see like, oh, she has a random non-uniform hair, you know? So yeah, which again is up to you. Some people will thread or wax theirs into an amazing shape and they just keep that all the time, but for someone who's more laid back like me and you, I don't think that's the route we should go. Okay, good. So let's get started. One little tip for this: if you are tweezing yourself and you feel like it's hurting, you can kind of pull the skin taut and then pluck, and that can minimize the kind of like lift off you get, which is what causes the pain most of the time. So that's an option if you want to try it. But let's just go ahead and get started, okay? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So let's start with the arch of this brow, okay? Here we go. Pluck, 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 yeah, this first time it's gonna be the most because you've never touched them, but after this it'll be maintenance. It really won't be as much. Pluck, 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 pluck. See, not too bad. Okay, now let's do the other arch. Yeah, here we go. Pluck, 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 and pluck, pluck. Yeah, really good. Now we're just gonna touch up the center, and yours, you really don't have much there. You have pretty fair hair, so you're lucky. If I'm not careful, I'll end up with a fucking unibrow. Okay. Are you ready? Here we go. Pluck, pluck, pluck. Yeah. Pluck, 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 pluck. Okay, let me just take one final look over. Pluck, pluck. Okay, I think that I'm done. Once we fill them in, if there's anything that kind of looks wonky, we'll grab it. But I think that's a really good starting spot. Okay. So, like I said, I've got my powder, and I've got 2 angle brushes, one for me and one for you. So, I'm gonna show you how I do the powder one first. So here, take your brush. And I'm gonna set the powder down in here between us. For you, you do have fairer hair, so I'd say maybe dip into this first one. I tend to use the middle one because I have darker brows. So I'm gonna set it down right here. So just here. We're gonna brush through our brows. So brush them down into shape. There you go. Go ahead and do that to yours. Okay. Yeah, just like that. Yep. Okay. Now let's pick up our You got it? what I like to do is take the first bit that you pick up, which is when your brush is the most loaded, and put it on this, not right there, put it on this bottom line, and kind of darken up that bottom, because our eyebrows tend to kind of feather out in the front and lose some of the sharpness that the tail normally has. So that's the first thing I like to do, is just sharpen up that line and fill in the front, and then just start working your way back and pick up more product anytime you feel like you need to. And every eyebrow is different, so you can see I kind of have a little spot right here that's sparse, so I fill that in. Just soft, gentle strokes. And then go kind of sharpen up your arch. And then you can pick up some more. And if you want, like, I could pick up the last color, and you could pick up the middle color for your tail. Some people like to darken up that outer tail and get like a faded ombre type look, like that. And now for the front, I'm gonna take some of this lighter color, the color you're using, and then I'm gonna flick upwards. Yeah, I just kind of like that, like, lifted look right here, where they're kind of, because, and you have a little bit of it too, I have eyebrow hairs that kind of just grow up right here, and they don't really fall into shape, so I kind of like to accentuate that. I think it looks a little more natural, so just do that. And then you can take the spoolie and just brush through. Brushing through kind of takes away any harshness you might have created. So that's pretty much it. I don't like to get crazy, and because I have such a strong shape, it doesn't take me long. You have decent eyebrows too, so yeah. For people who have to draw in a lot, they probably use a pomade or something, and it can take quite a bit longer, but we're lucky. Okay, so now for this next one, we're gonna use a pencil. So pick up that pencil I said over there. And this one, and yours should too, have little spoolies built in on the end, so you could use those even though we've already brushed our brows. And then it'll just have a little crayon type deal in the end. And lots of different brow pencils have different shapes, so it's just preference. You find one you like, stick with it, change it up, it's up to you. But I tend to do generally the same thing, but I think the brow pencils just give a softer effect, a little more natural, because you can draw in some actual hair strokes instead of just powdering. I kind of think of the powdering as kind of like painting it in the gaps, whereas with this you can actually mimic the way your hair would really grow. So I do the same thing. I start at the bottom, just flick, 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 flick. Do that same thing for the arch, and you can see here, this is where I kind of have some space missing, so I usually work to fill that in. But if I ever go out of lines, I just kind of wipe it away before it sets. And then flick, 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 flick. And then same thing, just brush, 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 brush. You see? a life philosophy to live by unless you want to be very frustrated is that your eyebrows are sisters, not twins. Yeah. Oh god, I remember when I first really started getting into makeup, I would sit here forever trying to be like, oh here, this, and now this one's just a little bit raised, and this tail's a little thicker, and this hair's growing here, so let me try to make one over here. And before I knew it, I had Sharpie eyebrows that were like twice the size they started out at, and it's not natural, and it's not cute, and it just causes you a lot of annoyance and anxiety. So obviously you want them to have the same general shape, color, whatever, but most people's faces aren't perfectly symmetrical, so your eyebrows won't be either. Okay, so how do you think I think you did a good job. How do you feel? Yeah, you like, it makes a big difference, right? I really think so. You know, they always say your eyebrows frame your eyes and they're so important. I think they are. I think they can totally change your look. I think that they can really amp up your face even if you're not wearing makeup or you're not wearing a lot of makeup. They can just kind of pull you together a little bit, make you look a little more with it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you asked me to help. You know, I love you and I love eyebrows, so this was so much fun. And if you don't kind of trust yourself to tweeze, you can always come back over here. You know I don't mind at all. Okay, sweetie. Yeah, do you need to get going? Yeah, I figured. Okay. Yeah, I'll just text me later, okay? I'll talk to you soon.